Rated M for mature.
Gears of War 2 launches worldwide on November 7th. We've never made a worldwide launch like this. We're scared but so excited.
We're at the point where we're not just making movie or game launches, we're making true entertainment launches.
There's guys waiting in line in Seoul and in the West Coast and the East Coast, all getting their copy of Gears of War at the same time, part of a community.
Gears is celebrated not only because of its solid core gameplay, but also because it's a very accessible and compelling universe. It's a familiar universe, but it's also very over-the-top and very fantastic.
I think the biggest thing you've got to have is you've got to have the larger-than-life stars. You have to have intense action, tons of explosions, tons of gunfire and special effects. And then you have to sprinkle in a little bit of drama and, of course, romance for the ladies.
If something happens to me, promise me you'll look for Maria.
When you add in multiplayer components, when you add in being able to share this popcorn ride with a friend, I think that's what truly makes a blockbuster in this day and age. I think those features are necessary in a game.
It's true that a lot of video games that have big success aren't necessarily the most artistic or well-delivered stories, but I'm really hoping that with Gears of War 2 we can be both, that we can be a game that millions of people play and enjoy, but that we tell an important story, a story of moral ambiguity, of character and growth. If you think of a movie like The Dark Knight, this is a highly accessible film, action flick, summer popcorn that's got so much story and depth to it. We're working with those guys, the Legendary Pictures guys, on the Gears of War movie, and I would love to achieve that.
You know it. Well, let's go chunk some bullets at them grubs. Oh, yeah!
You can have a great video game property and you can have a movie being made out of it, but until you have a 12-inch action figure that talks when you press a button, that's the magic moment.
Nice!
The thing that makes a popcorn or an epic film great is the shared experience. And I think when you have video games that are building to these tremendous launches, you're continuing that trend as far as playing it with a buddy right next to you. You're waiting in the midnight launch queue in order to get your hands on, and you're doing it in a virtual form as far as posting on the internet and discussing your experiences with the game.
It's like this wild roller coaster ride that's a combination, some kind of mutated baby, of all of your favorite sci-fi, action, horror, and monster movies. But for me, and I know for a lot of people, the biggest thing is the fun you can have with your friends.
I love co-op and players being able to play a game, together. I think the difference of skill level between players often varies greatly. And I think co-op is a great way of kind of giving a casual gamer a leg up into a game, and by allowing one player to play the game on hardcore mode and the other one to play on insane, kind of bridges that girlfriend gap of, hey honey, what are we doing on Friday night? And it's like, well, we're gonna go kill some locusts. I went to Comic-Con this summer, which for me, I had never gone, and it was actually incredibly exciting to go and be there with 160,000 people at the San Diego Convention Center.
Oh boy, it's Marcus Phoenix. Shut up, robot.
I've been lucky to represent our game in a number of venues, and the ones that are hardest are game press. Because even if they love it, even if they're having a blast, they don't want anybody else to know they're having a blast, so they just sit there and nod. So it's going to be even cooler and more badass. And I love the first one. And they don't say a thing. It's so unsatisfying, right?
But the hardcore fans that were packing that room, I mean, on every single thing we showed, they went completely insane, and I almost got misty-eyed.
I love those guys, right? Because they've taken apart our game. They've got so much ownership for it. That's why we make it. 1,000 guys in New York. What's your favorite character? Oh, I love Gus. Here's Dom. I love Dom. Why do you love Dom? And they really are part of our franchise, and that's the reason to make it.
I think we're officially at the point where so much of pop culture is driven by that passionate type of person who will spend the time to build a costume, or they'll build a replica, lance or chainsaw. They'll, get a tattoo of the characters and, do whatever it takes to kind of represent and show how big of a fan they are. And I find that to be the most flattering thing about, the job that we were able to do here making games.
Biggest thing for me as an artist in seeing hardcore fans out there is seeing all the Gears of War tattoos. That just blows my mind. That's a lifelong commitment. You're putting permanent ink on your body.
Once you see that guy in the locust costume, like mowing his lawn, or like in the supermarket, like, picking up like milk and looking at it and sniffing it and things like that, I think it'd make a great YouTube video. Well, I think with video game advertising growing up, you traditionally had, you know, back of the box, 10 weapons, 10 enemies, 10 levels, right? And now we're actually selling the theme and the experience as far as a commercial like Mad World or the upcoming Last Day. Mad World was a milestone for video game advertising as far as video game advertising truly growing up. It was truly a moment where a game spoke not only to all of the hardcore gamers that everybody knew would pick up the game, but random people stopping me in my building and saying, hey, I saw that commercial with the piano music. That was really cool. I think I want to check out that game. And we're hoping to continue that trend with the new commercial for Gears 2, which takes those themes of loss and of kind of that resonating melancholy element with sad music and showing soldiers who are preparing for battle and blasting it out along the airwaves, and then hopefully players, you know, experiencing those themes and enjoying the campaign.
The creator of Princess Mononoke has this great quote, which is basically, if you want to grow your audience, you have to betray part of your current audience, because you have to change what you're doing to expand your audience. And that's scary for us, but we know that as we grow our game, as we change it, someone's going to get pissed off. You killed who? We always kill someone, right? But someone's going to be upset they'll have lost their main character. So it's really a balance of keeping our hardcore fans happy, but changing the games in ways to make it more accessible to new people. We cut all the blood, for example, from Gears of War 2. Because we just don't want to make a violent game. It scares people off. It's a Christmas game, really.